Hi, my name is Nia Scott. My official capacity in the Grade 7 Academy is the Grade 7 After School Coordinator. So the goal of these Easter workshops is to really tackle that identity and the awareness for the students. So we have 3 days of workshops. The first day is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is a Xhosa philosophy, meaning I am because we are. It's a conflict resolution, but we don't really like that language here because conflict is a perception. The facilitator for day 1 was O'Dane Thomas, who was immaculate with the kids. And his masculine energy is really calm. And so we intentionally chose a facilitator like that for the boys to model, especially in a creative space.
Let's make a difference, right? You guys can be leaders of the school someday, right? Stepping up into grade 9 to grade 10 to grade 11, you guys can make the change today. I don't care where you are, where you're from. I don't think your address should block your success. So it's important that we stay focused today and we can lock in and have a good vibe.
We're trying to get the students to realize that not every single thing that their body responds to is a threat.
What is a threat? Like a knife. A threat can actually kill you.
And we have this thing called big brain and the amygdala.
Right.
So we look at the problem and we say, oh, there's a threat. And our brain kind of mistakes it like a threat on our life, but it's not really a threat on our life. And that's just the amygdala acts up and we fight, right? But then we're encouraging students to come into the awareness that there's this whole other section of our brain that we can use to think and process and reason and imagine another way of handling the situation. So once you realize the difference between a threat and a real threat and a false threat, then we're able to use the thinking part of our brain, because we believe that if every student is able to be in their center and be aware of their emotions, then they won't even reach the point of conflict, right? That fighting, that agitation, that feeling that they need to survive won't be necessary.
Thus, we have here a threatometer, right? It's pretty cool, pretty cool. The students loved it. So what we did an activity and we asked questions about different scenarios, right? And what they think it is. Either it's a high threat or it's a non-threat, right? Or it can be danger, but you can reason things through it, right? And the arrow points to the different colors. As you can see, red for danger and green for non-danger. It's pretty cool.
Look where I put it, right here. Somebody diss you. And it's right here. Is your life in danger? Okay, try again. Come on. Your life is in no danger. There are words. See, Joe, people are just shouting at you, right? There's no danger. Come again. Exactly. There's no threat. My life. You can use your brain and think about.
We looked at it like red is Mago dead and green is I'm safe. So we realized that most of the situations that we start conflict from, that we start fights from, situations that are in the green. So for example, for red, we do like, oh, there's like a bear in front of you, or somebody has a gun,
right,
has a weapon at you, that's red. If somebody is disrespectful towards you, calls you dunce, or speaks negatively about your family members, then a lot of students, you know, when you gave the prompt, they're like, oh, ready to put it on red.
Right, yeah.
And then they saw them in their brain,
Right.
they're processing and be like, hold on, but it is a green.
Right,
There's no threat.
exactly. There's no
and
threat.
safe. And there's a way that I can perceive things to kind of create a space of safety.
Oh my God, Salah, hold on. Look at this. Look at this. What just triggered a while ago? Your amygdala just triggered a while ago. Was there a real threat? Was there a threat? But your thought. Was there a threat? There was no threat. Okay, let's go.
Every single person was participating in the breathing.
Right.
And we introduced breathing as a way to move from that amygdala, that fight, flight, or freeze,
Yes.
into the thinking brain, reasoning, logic.
Breathe in. Hold it. Exhale.
I want like the students to leave today. It's quick half-an-hour sessions, right? But I want them to at least have an awareness of when their brain switches to that ignorant amygdala fight, flight, or freeze response.
Yeah.
And then, because they can only be a choosing after there's an awareness, right?
That's true.
So hopefully the next time they get into that space, they can be like, oh,
I'm thinking of this like a threat, you know, and maybe that won't stop them from actually fighting or defending their honor or whatever.
Right.
But the awareness is a start.
The start. Yeah, I agree. The awareness is so important. And what I really want for them to do is to be able to activate that in the moment, right? And understanding that, because when you don't understand that, then you start acting off impulse, right? That's where the Abing will come in, right? So what we have to do is just to, ensure that, the students leave today having the awareness and the understanding of their brain and their thought process, and how they can use that to resolve any situation or experience that they encounter.
Day 2 is Kumba, which means creativity in Swahili. And we had Siretsi Smalls as the lead facilitator, who's a top jazz musician and music educator in Jamaica. So the goal of the Day 2 was to allow them and give them a space to just let go and creatively express themselves in a really safe space.
Oh, go! Push! In the second session, I decided to take more time to say, okay, what is it that they know? What's their world like? And unsurprisingly, we had planned to do a Chronixx song. Unsurprisingly, one person said, I love chronic law, which is very interesting. In tapping into that, you get a sense of not only what they like, because when I asked them, why do they listen to chronic law? Interestingly, the child went into a whole discussion about how they use it to cope. Without any hesitation, jumped straight to the relationship with their mother, and how the mother was extremely negative and used bad words and creates a toxic atmosphere at home. And so that child used chronic law as a way to create, as he says, amends.
Or self-regulate.
To self-regulate, like a cocoon of safety. This is a zone that is manageable.
I know I'm blessed. When I close my eyes, it smiles. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in the world. And I've done my best, so everything's alright. Sorry, inside.
And everybody. I think an impact on the students today, though, was singing the song in a group. Kind of showed everybody that it's, when you do it in like a space like this,
Yes.
where it's sort of mandatory, then everybody has to open their mouth and everybody has to sing a Chronixx song, right? Everybody has to sing a conscious, uplifting lyric together as a group. I think that's transformative for the students to like be among their like brothers, thugs,
Right.
and singing something so empowering. So that, as you say, it crack open something.
Yes.
And then also with a song like I Can, it will be in their heads for the whole day, right? So they'll have that restorative tune in their minds for the rest of the day.
Very good. I know it is a blessing. So when it comes out, look at my hand. Lift up my hands. Watch me. With my 2 hands in the air as far as I can.
Day 3 was entitled Udo. Udo means peace in the Igbo language. We wanted the students, even for a brief moment, feel how it feels to live outside of the tense survival defaults that many of them are trapped in or have learned because of the environments that they grew up in and that they have to go home to every single evening. Our facilitator for Day 3 was Miss Naima Scott, who is a trained yoga instructor and a student of psychology. She has a vision that all Jamaicans can approach wellness in a holistic way, mind, body, and spirit.
So my goal with the children this morning was to bring the awareness into their brains that they are in control of their own thoughts. So we started by doing a few stretches and movements just to bring the awareness to each part of the body from head to toe. And then we went into a meditation where I encouraged them to really control their thoughts and to have no reaction.
No, everybody can hear me? Yes, yes. You're going to listen to exactly what I say, okay?
They can choose relaxation, they can choose peace, and they can choose love. So that was also an affirmation that I asked them to repeat in their own heads, that they are peace, they are love, they are calm, and
Safe.
they are safe.
One of the problems was like students were afraid to close their eyes,
Yes.
right? Which comes from this sort of I'm always on the edge survival mechanism because I don't feel safe, so I can't. And and even students were like, "Miss, I don't want him to touch me,"
Yes, even I told them to trust me and trust that I wouldn't let anything happen to them. And they said, I don't trust nobody. But by the end of the session, you could see after repeating, I am safe, I am love, I am calm, you could see them genuinely feel safe in the space.
Relax your fingers, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
When every single person in the room was focused on that one thing, on their breath and on keeping the stillness, it felt like the energy in the room just like shifted. Didn't you think that you feel it? You felt it?
Yeah, I did.
It was phenomenal.
I did, and you could feel the difference in the students after it was completed, after they had gotten up from the meditation. You could feel a genuine, relaxed, kind of safer vibe around them, right? Like they just felt more comfortable, It wasn't as much. There wasn't as much agitation and restlessness in the room. They were more focused, and they were genuinely listening to what we had to say. Really,
And even one of the girls was like, "Miss, we can't do 10 more minutes, 10 more minutes." She want to cut this. I know I have a next session to go to now.
Yeah, maths class.
And I gave out prizes. At the end. And normally when I'm giving out prizes, especially like it was like little jello treats, students would be like racing me like, "Miss Me," and like hands. But the students, when they were walking out to the classroom, which is a big deal, everyone like calmly put on their shoes, and I had a line, like not a straight line, but at least it was like one at a time. And students were waiting patiently for me to like
And that was not
address them.
prompted.
And it wasn't prompted. It was just like, okay, after
This
you
is
wake
the
up.
space I'm in now.
And
I was
even,
patient
yes,
and
exactly.
calm. Wow.
When I meditate on the type of Jamaica that I want to see, it is a group of people who are well regulated and emotionally intelligent and just standing in their greatness. The way that we can reach here is by first starting with education, right? And this is why the Grade 7 Academy is so near and dear to my heart. So if we start from this age, it is such a possible thing for us as Jamaicans to get in one generation, or maybe two, to a space where we're all really regulated.